Okay, so here we are in my mix session, and as you know, I started with the drums, so let's get right to it. Kick. I used tape set up for my drums with a master tape. I have this drum mix here where all the drum mics are going into, and here in red are my parallels and my effects. These parallels go straight to the main mix bus. This is my voice here for the recording now, for the video. Let's shut this out. Okay, so let's start with the kick, and here's how it sounds. Kick in. Kick out. 86 hertz is approximately where the fundamental is. Snare top. $220, 10 and 6.9, giving it a little bit. Snare bottom. More 220 and 1176 on the snare. I gave headroom to the compressor. Transient designer on the kick and snare. Warm. Going some 500s. High pass, no, low pass, high pass. Snare side. Overheads. Mono overhead, I use this mic. And this is the mic I end up choosing, the Coles 4038. Neve 33609. I didn't use this. And I added the Ocean Wave. Okay, so that's drums. If we move forward, we have the bass. No processing, as remember I process it a lot on the way in on the recording. So I have tape, master tape, because they're routed to a bass mix here with saturation, cutting some highs. And this API, which is great to pass it through, cutting a little bit of the highs as well. So it sounds like this. Parallel. Saturation. bass to the Ocean Way as well. Hear the space. Okay, moving forward. Oh, so let's see how the bass and the drums interact. So now we have the first set of guitars here. This Fairchild bus that I have here is like a parallel for the whole mix. I send a bunch of instruments there on different parts of the song to bring them forward, keep them back, etc., etc. So this is the wah guitars on the verse. I have dedicated tape, master tape, and some saturation. No EQ, this is just for reference. And this is how it sounds. So as you can see here, I have it mute here on the first verse. This is automated, so this will come on and off depending on the part of the song. Let's see how the verse guitars interacts with the drums and the bass. Okay, so moving on, we have the chorus guitars, which they are a lot. I use 3 channels, the 57 and the 2 condensers a little far back in front of the amp, and then I had to use the different channels to record those chorded guitars. As I explained to you, that they're doing like a kind of like a piano chord, but you have to record each track individually to make it sound like a piano chord instead of a guitar, stroke chord. So it'll sound well. And you see no processing. I process it on the way in, just giving it a little bit of EQ. I have the tape and the master tape there, and all the chorus guitars just come into this guitar bus with this setting, just passing it through the API, giving it a lid of almost 400 and cutting a little bit at 50, so that's it. No much going on the guitars. I send them to the Ocean Way and to the Fairchild that I show you. So it's like this. So how does it interact with the drums and bass? Let's check that out. Okay, so moving forward, we have the solo. In the solo, I have the wah on the left side, rhythm solo on the right side, which is that effect that I talked to you on the guitar episode, the rotary effect. And I didn't play that guitar on the on the episode, so I'm gonna play it here so you can hear it. See, just cutting a little bit on 326, just taking out I'm taking out lots of the low frequency, the low rumble, 425, and then on the boss, I have the tape, the guitar tape, and then I have this master tape for the solo mix bus with some EQ with the API. And to show you how this guitar rhythm solo sounds, it's like this. This is the MD500. This is how it sounded by itself. Just, putting it too fast, no tweaking everything else. It sounded great. I didn't process I think anything. It sounded great right of the bat. Really nice. So how the solo, here's some parallel for the solo. And I'm gonna show you how it sounds with the drum and bass. So that's it. And then, I talked that I said in the guitar episode that John did some guitar overdubs, and I continue the overdubs here in these tracks. Okay, so let's see the vocals now.
The Rolling Stones, she took a shortcut to being fully grown. She's got that mood ring, her little sister Rose, a smell of Springsteen, a pair of pantyhose. This talking picture show is licking from a silhouette. She said, my man, it's time to get your fingers wet. You hustle faster when you can't afford a cigarette. The last I heard from you were screaming, handle it.
Okay, so as you see here, I picked the SM7. We know that Anthony's mic for recording in studio. You see the processing here, and then I'm gonna start adding the parallels. The parallels I have shared with the backing vocals. Some share, some not, but this is the whole setup for vocals and backing vocals, and I'm gonna be open and I'm gonna be turning them on.
The Rolling Stones, she took a shortcut to being fully grown. She's got that mood ring, her little sister Rose, a smell of spring sting, a pair of pantyhose. This talking picture show is licking from a silhouette. She said, my man, you know it's time to get your fingers wet. You hustle faster when you can't afford a cigarette. The last I heard from you were screaming, handle it!
So we know that the Red Hot Chili Peppers, their productions are really with very little effect. So there's not much going on in terms of effect in the vocals. So let's add the backing vocals now. And I have them as they're that much. I have their panning. I have their individual mix bus for the left and for the right. And then going into like a background mix box with this LA2A. Some this is I'm using it as de-essing here, and to give space for the lead vocals, cutting some lows. And this is how it would sound.
You were screaming, handle it! Knock the world right off its feet and straight onto its head. The book of love will long be laughing after you are dead. Fascinated by the look of you and what was said. Make a place for the brightest minds in life will share.
Okay, so let's hear the ending on the second verse coming into the second chorus.
On the lone pine, I'm gonna make you mine. It's understood you wrap your voodoo right around my neck. You got some glitter on your kitty at the discotheque. I put my lovin' in your oven, not I had to check. The last I heard from you were screaming, resurrect! Knock the world right off its feet and straight onto its head. The book of love will long be laughing after you are dead. Fascinated by the look of you and what was said. Make a play for the brightest minds in life will share.
Love the backing vocals. Here I am using this bus just to be a little bit more in control of the whole mix before the main stereo bus, but nothing ended up happening, so I left it at 0. So here's my main bus. I have the master tape, and this is what I have in my main bus. SSL compressor, Pultec, happy face, EQ, a little bit of more EQ here. I use this for stereo expander, and this is my limiter, which on the limiter, let me tell you, I have my limiter, the limiter setting that you're hearing on the song episode, on the recording episode, is at plus 3 dBs. That, using the reference competed well with the original Red Hot Chili Pepper recording. They would get around, the Red Hot Chili Pepper recording would get around the minus 6, more or less, minus 6, minus 7 LUFS. And with this limiter set at plus 3, you would get more or less there. But now for this recording, I had to turn it down to minus 6 to not clip the whole video, and it's gonna have the same perception. It's not gonna change anything. This is the loudness for the commercial stuff. So I just wanted to let you know that. And well, that's it. This is the whole song. This is the whole series. Let me tell you, it's a lot of work. As you can see, I process a lot on the way in, so that's a lot of work. That's a lot of trying, recording, listening. And well, I'm doing this all by myself. I'm producing the whole thing myself. I'm recording the whole thing myself. So, this is quite the process. And I'm really glad I got to hear, and I hope you learn a lot from it. Um, you know, and I would love to see your comments. I would love to see your questions. I'm here to answer them all. And you know, the drill. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'm gonna be uploading more and more stuff. I'm just starting out, so I have a lot of music to play and record. So we can do this together. You can ask me stuff. You can request if you like, and see if I can play it and sing it and do all that stuff. So also, I have an Instagram account that I do this kind of like in parallel. So follow me there, and we'll be in communications there if you like. I post stories. I do some posts here and there. So let's keep in touch. So this is Javi with my home recording experience, and up to the next series. Thank you so much.